it's Leigh from Creatively on Sunday 14 August with FLOSSTUBE number 138. Finally a sunny weekend, so excited. I'm going to get to mow my lawns this afternoon. I don't think you'll hear, but I do have the hum of lawn mowers in the background as well as my dishwasher going, so welcome to life. Yeah, it's been such a long time since we had 2 sunny days in a row. It's quite exciting to get out this afternoon. Hopefully the lawn won't be too soft and I can get the lawns mowed. Oh, I'm drinking from my cup that I got sent from Liz. Facebook reminded me yesterday that it's been 3 years since I've seen my sister in person. She was last here. She visited me for a long weekend in August 2019 and we went to Wellington on the Plate things, did some cocktails and went to a nice dinner at Jardin Grill at the Sofitel Hotel, and of course Facebook reminded me, so thanks Facebook. 8 weeks tomorrow till I go to Brisbane to stay with my sister for 2 weeks and the rest of the family. I'm excited to see them too, but you know, I'm mostly excited to see my sister. They're all finally COVID free, I think. All up, I think they had a couple of months by the time it went through the whole family, because in the end all of the nieces and nephews and partners and girlfriends and what have you got it as well, after it had started with my sister, her ex-husband, then her husband, then one nephew, then another nephew, then my niece, then my niece's girlfriend, oh, and I think my second nephew's girlfriend as well. So how's Dad doing? Dad's doing okay. He's keeping his fingers crossed that I think in about a week he's got, might be like the 22nd or 23rd, he's got a doctor's appointment where hopefully they'll clear him to drive again. He's had no more funny turns since he had that turn 2.5 months ago when I was back with him, which they do think it was low blood pressure, but they're just wanting to make sure, because you know that's been, his meds have been adjusted. Hopefully he can get to drive, but he has had a visit with the rest home that's in Corail, and basically based on his description of Pam's situation, as soon as the paperwork comes through from the District Health Board or whoever sends it through, she should go pretty much to the top of the list based on the fact that she's bed bound now, can't sit up, can't really feed, can't communicate, can't toilet herself. She basically needs full-time hospital care. So there will be a place for her as long as presumably the paperwork is correct. So hopefully that comes through pretty soon, and then she can be transferred through to Corail, which means Dad can, I don't know, go and visit with her more frequently. Otherwise he's doing okay. He said he's continuing the little clear out that I initiated or helped him with. I didn't really initiate it, I just helped him get going. So he's working on going through all of his clothes and pulling stuff out that can be donated and got rid of. I've been a good girl and I finally got properly stuck into my craft room this weekend, so I probably 3/4 of the way tidying it. I can now see most of the floor and get to my second desk, which meant I actually did a quick couple of little scrapbooky pages yesterday because I could get to my desk. I just grabbed the first couple of photos off the pile and slapped a few things together. They're not great works of art, but I enjoyed the process, so that's kind of cool. I still need to hang those pin boards on the wall. For those of you who may have watched my craft room overview a year ago, I don't remember when I did it. And I have these two black wire pin boards. I still haven't found the right fittings that I want to use to hang them, because they'll be visible, so I want them to look nice. So have I looked very hard? No. Maybe that's a challenge for next weekend, is to finally get those bloody things up, so then I can hang all my flosses from the pegboards in their little colourways rather than how they're currently stored, which is not making me happy. Anyway, that's sort of what we're doing there. Got a small donation box going for some few bits of clothing and some craft crap that I don't need. None of it's stitchy stuff at this stage. It's just scrapbooking and other crafts that I don't think I'm going to do. Acquisitions, I have purchased one PDF in the last fortnight. It's along the lines of like the Pretty Little City stuff, obviously heavily influenced, but it's Wellington, so I really liked it. It's got a lot of the iconography of Wellington. It's got the silver fern ball that hangs over Civic Square, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favourite pieces of sculpture. It's got the Majestic Centre, which is one of the tallest buildings in Wellington, the Beehive and Parliament here. The cable car. The cathedral. It's kind of fun, so I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I just grabbed it. It was on sale from Awesome Pattern Studio they're on Etsy, but they also have their own website, so you know, I think it's nice to avoid Etsy if you can. Other than that, I have made a small order of some Lady Dot Creates finishing bits and pieces, just a very small order. I think 3 pieces of fabric and like 3, what do you call it, velveteen, and 3 pieces of trim that, because they don't ship to New Zealand, I've got it shipped to an address where the lovely Judith's going to bring that back when she is over there in the States for work soon. So that's very nice of her to offer to do that for me. On with stitching. Only 8 minutes in and already I'm at the stitching. Well done me. It's a Christmas miracle. I had a couple of messages through Instagram and Facebook and DMs last week saying, what's this 50 at 50? So obviously, well, presumably these are new people to my channel, so welcome. I think I'm over 700 now, which is amazing. So thanks for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that malarkey. Got some nice giveaways planned when I get to 1,000. But anyway, my 50 at 50 really collect. I started getting a whole lot of fabric and bits and pieces in when I joined several clubs back in the second half of 2020 and into 2021. I did almost run out of things to stitch on during the pandemic because I didn't have a huge stash at that stage. I was very much had gone into come back to stitching monogamously, kind of, but then kitted up projects to stitch, but I didn't have tons of stuff. So, and when I got down to my last needle we couldn't get any shipping in New Zealand, it was quite a scary time. So when shipping opened up again, I started, getting all the things. Went a little bit nuts, like we all do when we get back into a hobby. And I had sort of got to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I've bought a whole lot of patterns. I've bought some beautiful flosses, Silks for You and Victorian Motto Sampler Shop and Tom and Lily, etc, etc. And I got some fabrics from Rainbow Club and bought some from various places, but none of it was to go together. So I got a little bit anxious, like, oh crap, I've got all this stuff, but do I have anything to stitch on? So one weekend I sat down and I started to kit some things up, see, well, what fabric do I have? What design could that go with? Do I have some, can I kit it up from my stash? Do I need to buy all the fancy flosses or what have you? And so I started doing that, and I pulled together easily pulled together 5 projects, so 5 kits from what I had, and then I had some others that fabric and pattern went together, or pattern and floss went together. So I started making a spreadsheet of, okay, well, for this particular project, I need to get this fabric, or I need to get this floss, etc. And then I decided, well, what's the point of having things kitted if I don't stitch on them? So the 50 at 50 was born. So last year, I was like, about midway through last year, I was like, well, I'm going to do this 50 at 50. Is that crazy? Meaning that when I turn 50 on the 18th of January this year, I'll start 50 projects at 50. So while I'm 50 years old. And starting on my birthday, which was the 3rd week of the year, that meant I can go right through, an average one a week, right through to the end of the year, and I'll have started 50 projects. So that's what I did. I just started kitting stuff up, continued to get clubs and stuff in, and you know, over time kit things up, which I still do. And then some projects, you know, like I'm like, well, there are some projects where I want the called for, so make a list and start ordering those things. And there are some projects where I'm quite happy to go rogue. Some projects I'm quite happy to go with DMC. It all depends on the project and my mood and what I have. So that's how 50 at 50 was born. So, quick little update on where we're at with that. I have a list somewhere. I keep a number of spreadsheets. For me, apps and all that are great, but Excel's fantastic, and Word. I am keeping just a little 30 box sort of table of all of my starts. So on another spreadsheet I have all the fabric and the size and the satin, the designer and everything, but on this I'm just putting the name, the start date, and then the finish date if I finish it within this year. And the pale orange boxes are where I have finished that. The darker orange boxes are where I've had a start and a finish, as in I've finished it the week I started it. So we've done 30 weeks now, I've got 20 to go. And to date I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 finishes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9. So I've got 18 finishes all up. I've got 9 start and finishes and 9 just finishes. So of the 30, I've got 12 outstanding, which is amazing. A couple of them are really big. The VMSS sampler, Fall by Teresa Wentzler. The Pandemic sampler is pretty big. Yeah, but the others are I expect to be able to finish. So my whips that I've still got outstanding, I've got Panoply of Peacocks. I could finish, I probably will finish that this year. Fall, Teresa Wentzler, no, I won't finish that. Mary Rose, I'm going to give that a little bit of love this week. That is still, I think I'm only about 15, 16% of that. Pandemic sampler, it's pretty big, but I probably can finish it. Griffins of the Kingdom, yeah, I can finish that. Cat Lovers, I'll finish. Flowers Uprising, I'll finish. Pomegranate sampler, I can finish. Southern Land, not sure. A Perfect World, I'll finish. Rule of Life, I'll finish. VMSS sampler, no, I won't. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. So I do keep all sorts of. I also have a book of days that I track a lot of fun stuff in as well, my starts and my finishes. So I'm kind of keeping the information about 3 or 4 different places, but you know, that's okay. So, start number 30, if you were quick enough and you looked at that bit of paper, you might have seen that I had a start and a finish this week. I did kind of mention that I might. So, start number 30 was Ava by Bewitching Pixies by Nora Corbett, and I stitched her with the called for 32 count vintage country mocha. Started on the 7th of August and I finished on the 9th of August. So of course I stitched Anelba's start number 14 and Ava's start number 30. I will also be stitching Gigi this year. I'm just waiting for Judith. We're going to do that as a start along. Hang around till the end. This will be a giveaway past the stash. I didn't show you the piece. Oh my god. Okay, so I'll talk all about it, but I won't show you the stitching. Here she is. You may recall for Anna, I changed her hair to auburn. She had the green dress, but I didn't change anything on, what's her name? Ava. She's a quicker stitch, so if you know, I've already given the chart away, if you know Anna, she had she's standing with a cat and she has these sort of checkered sash going up her dress, and which was a whole lot more beading through the dress, and the checkerboard took a lot more. Like, this was quite easy to stitch all of the black and then come back and do all of the pink and then do the broom and then do the skin. So yeah, and I kept doing pretty pale. I thought about changing your skin colour, but I just couldn't get anything to work right on this fabric. Because it's so brown, I didn't want like a lovely brown skin to fade. I mean, the pale is bad enough, but anyway, that is the lovely Ava. I had picked up, after I finished Ava, because it only took me a couple of days, I picked up Miss Bingley's Library by Plum Street. You may recall I had everything to the house done, so, you know, that's the lion's share of it, just a little bit to do up here. So I stitched Miss Bingley's Library by Plum Street Samplers on 36 count neutral sampler from Victorian Motto using my own partial conversion. I started this as my 26 of 50 start on the 10th of July and finished it on the 11th of August. And again, hang around for that. I'll be giving this away at the end, because, you know, past the stash. And here she is. Very happy. So, called for, ironically, the basket and the roof are the called for. I guess they are very similar in the picture as well. They don't have, like, one is slightly browner, the roof is slightly browner, and the basket is slightly grayer. They are very similar though, but they are similar. And the, yeah, anyway, I don't know what else to say about it. She is very pale. She blends in very well to this fabric. Again, I thought about getting a slightly darker colour, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. No one needs this. Miss Bingley's not the most endearing character. I really love stitching all the little books though. These stacks of books. They were fun. And yeah, just really happy with it. And I've got quite a bit at the top. I can trim this off and, I don't know, stitch something. I've got a couple of inches. I can, probably 3-inch strip that I could use for something little. I don't know what. Anyway, it's another one finished. So I finished that on the 11th, which was Thursday. So then Friday, I'm like, well, what am I going to stitch now? So when I sat down after work on Friday, again, quiet weekend, wasn't going anywhere, and I thought, wow, I love Flowers Uprising, so I picked up my Flowers Uprising, which is by Tinsel cross stitch on Etsy, which I'm stitching on 40 count parchment from Country Stitch using the beautiful Belle Soie Alarm Fire, which was a gift from Judith, Iraq. And this was my 21st start of 50, which I started on the 6th of June. And I just got another of the, I call them towers because I don't know what else to call them. Another of the columns done. It's quite a quick one. So I've got 4 more to go. So I'm just over halfway, and I've used one skein of Belle Soie. I have 3, so I'm going to have plenty. I'm going to probably have just over a skein left. So I'm pretty frugal stitcher, and I have only had to frog a couple of tiny little bit, like short little bits that I've had to throw out. But I think definitely if you were stitching this on a lower count, especially if you're using 2 strands, you probably need 2. If you're using 2 strands on something, you'd probably need 5 skeins. But definitely you want to get 3 skeins of Belle Soie. It's 12 lengths, of course, so do the math if you want to use a 6 strand. Anyway, I absolutely love this so much. Like, the colour is just, it's such a warm, rich red, and it's such a fun little project. I love this so much. This brings me so much joy, this stitching. So I did that on Friday night, just got that row in while I was catching up on MasterChef. I can say no spoilers, bloody Facebook spoiled because we're so many weeks behind Australia. And they announced the winner a couple of weeks ago, and we're still at like final 10. So we've still got we're at final 10, and the last week they're like, we're only going to get rid of one person. It's like, oh God, we've probably still got like 4 weeks to go. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to pretend I don't know who wins. So then yesterday, we did a lot of stuff around the house, and then when I sat down in the afternoon, I made sure that the tablet was charged because I could find it on my desk under the pile of crap. And there's something that I want to get finished this month, just a little goal, because I want to get this finished because I want to start 10,000 Lakes, which was, it's Carolyn Manning, full coverage, one of the tent maker designs that Chris wrecked me, but I don't want to have more than one Carolyn Manning on the go at one time, so I pulled out Sunset, one of the Shooting Star collection. I was about 70% when I last left this, this one I'm stitching on 20 count Aida Corail from Tom and Lily Designs, using all the cord for DMC. I know it's a mess, but it works for me, it's fine. So yeah, it was about 70% when I picked it up, so I did probably about 6% last night, and then I've stitched 4% this morning. I just felt like watching a movie this morning, and I watched House of Gucci, which I don't think was that great. I'm like, thank God, I'm glad I didn't pay $18 for that. So I'm now just like 80.02%, I'm just over 80% done now. So yeah, just been filling this in. Now, somebody, when I did my last Stitch With Me, which I'm calling Needles on Fire, I was asked, please do another one. So I will do another one. And someone asked if I could stitch on this so they could see how I handle moving around and doing the colour changes and all that. So I am going to do that. My next Needles on Fire, I'll either film this weekend or next, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stitch it I'm going to stitch it in August because I want to finish this in August. So it's going to be this weekend or next weekend because then I run out of weekends, right? And I may even stitch it in the evening, who knows? And you'll see me working on this, and I don't know, I'll be chatting about some random crap. I don't know what. I kind of have some ideas, not necessarily stitching related. Who knows? So that is what I've been stitching. Okay, so I've got start number 31. I did go through my box yesterday and had a quick look at, and I think I've got the next 10 starts planned, although they could change, but I decided that this has been sitting here long enough, and I'm gonna start for start number 31. I'm gonna go with a big one because we need more big ones in our lives. Forest Dream from Isabelle Vautier. I bought this chart from her website ages ago, and I plan to stitch this just on good old antique white linen from Soie, but on 40 count because she's a big design. 224 by 433. So I'm doing one strand. And I'm going to use Cottage Garden threads, and I'm using the colourway Gumboot, which is what we call rain boots or galoshes or Wellingtons. We call them gumboots here in, I think, in Australia as well, because it's an Australian company. And I just love these colours. This sort of dark blue through to mossy green through to this brown colour. And I just feel like the colours you would find at a forest. I don't know, but I've got 3 skeins. I think 3 skeins will either be enough because they are 10 metres, so that's, you know, more than you get for. I've got 3 skeins, and what I'm going to do is not stitch the letters yet. I'm just going to start on the girl, and then if I run short, I'll decide. If I have to buy another skein, then if it's a dye lot issue, then it won't matter so much because all the letters will be the same. But I think if I run out, or even I may decide to just pick a colour that goes with, possibly make like with the dark green or something, and stitch the lettering with the dark, with a contrasting colour, or a complementary colour I should say. So that's what I'm going to do. I am not quite sure how I'm going to attack it, whether I don't want it too stripy, so I might, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna, yeah, I don't know how I'm just gonna give it a go. I'm not sure how I'm gonna manipulate the floss, if I'm gonna try and make this, when I say I don't want it striped, I don't want it, maybe I want the stripe sort of going with the body, so I'm not really sure. We'll see. It's sort of it, apart from a couple of giveaways. So I'm going to give away my 2 charts, Past the Stash, Gently Loved. I have managed to get Eva out through the side, so I haven't broken the seal. There's just a couple of pencil marks on there. If I remember to erase them, I will. But you know, they're pencil. So they'll rub out. If you'd like to stitch Ava, use just use Ava. Just say Ava. You want to stitch Ava. Ava is EVA. So I'll be doing a word search for EVA for Ava. And if you want to be in the draw for Miss Bingley's library, library, Library. So you've got Ava and library, and so you can't win both. You can win one or t'other, or neither. And I'll just take the first name that comes out. I'll post them anywhere. So that's okay, you don't have to be just New Zealand. Please be a subscriber and avoid all the giveaway words that trolls might find, like giveaway, freebie, prize, win. Just use the word Ava or library if you'd like to be in the draw for those. And obviously if they go missing in the mail, I apologise, but I'm not replacing them. I think that's it. I'll see you next week for another FLOSSTUBE number 139, and I don't think I've got anything too exciting happening this weekend or this week, so probably that means I'll have a decent week of stitching. So yay for me and yay for my FLOSSTUBE. Be well, be safe, be kind, take care of each other, take care of yourselves. And as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.